And that we can understand every language on the planet Earth.
Hello, and welcome. Thank you, Chess, my friend Chess, Munz, and more. Today's a special stream. I've wanted to do tabletop stuff for a while now. So we're doing that today. And I have with me today a special guest never before seen on the program, my friend Paul. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, everybody.
I'm
Hello,
sorry.
Trans Gundam. Glad you're here.
You don't have to greet every single member of the chat. Thank
Hey,
you. Though.
Lexicog. Hi. Hello.
This is gonna take forever.
Decorolf. Decoriolf. Hey,
Sure.
glad to be here. I will talk to everyone.
You're already doing your best job of embarrassing me.
Video chess, you're doing great. Have an awesome day.
See if I ever bring you back here again. All right. Mm-hmm. Paul has been my friend for longer than he has not been my friend. And among our many passions we share, one is tabletop games. We play Pathfinder just about every week with our buddies, but we play other games too. And we, mostly me, but he's wanted to do it too. Wanted to do a 2-person sort of session. We've tried it once and I fucked up bad, but this time it will be better.
Yeah. You know what? I think that was just our eyes were bigger than our stomachs. Our role play minds were bigger than our capacity to improvise.
Yes.
We went on for about 4 hours longer than we should have.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah,
but either way,
that's fine.
Things will be different. Paul has graciously volunteered to run this first session. I know nothing about what we're doing. We're really flying by the seat of our pants here. Let's go over to our tabletop screen, where I've prepared ping tubers, as the kids are calling them. Where I, as the player, am dressed in the stately wizard's hat. Paul, as the GM, is wearing the sinister wizard's robe. I need to get music going. I think because we're just playing wizards mostly. I don't know anything about what Paul has prepared for me today, except that wizards are involved. So
many wizards, more wizards than you can fit in your brain.
So I need 12 hours of RuneScape music, so I don't have to think about what else to play, music-wise.
Yeah.
Hey, YouTube, come on. YouTube. There we go.
Sounds like you're coaxing a cat out from under a bed.
That's what streaming is. You'd be surprised. Streaming is mostly just like, come on, OBS, you can do it.
Come on.
All right, as with anything, let me know if audio is fucked. But otherwise, I think we're okay. Oh, Paul, you should listen to... Well, I mean, you can listen to whatever the hell you want, but I'm just playing this video. I'll put it in our Discord.
I hardly ever listen to music when I'm GMing. I
don't
know about you.
Oh,
yeah,
I totally do. I keep like game soundtrack stuff in the background.
I put in my earbuds with noise canceling, and then I put my overhead earphones and then noise cancel those, so I'm just in the drift. Dude, the entire time.
That's crazy. You're fucking gaming with the best of them.
If I could GM out of a sensory deprivation egg, I would.
That would be like... I'd be like too sleepy. I wouldn't want to run anymore. I'm like, I'm having such a nice time in the egg. I hardly want to...
We should egg sometime, Mike. Let's go at
I don't want
to retreat. Go to a sensory deprivation egg and just float in the sauce for an hour.
If you find one that's of a reasonable cost, I will consider it.
$60 for an hour.
$60 for an hour? Are you fucking with me?
No, probably cheaper.
It's
been a while since I looked. Maybe they're doing a holiday discount.
If getting like a massage from a massage parlor is like $60, I refuse to believe that being immersed in the egg for an hour is going to be the same price.
I feel like you're gonna face time dilation though.
I mean, that's true.
Like a whole ass day.
Hey, we're supposed to be playing games. Can we
Oh, yeah. Shall we travel into the imagination sphere?
Yes, please.
Hey. You find yourself standing in front of this giant modeled wizard's tower. Now you're familiar with what a wizard's tower looks like, you know, just a spire, maybe it's got a windmill at the top, kind of various windows and, you know, things that, you know, poke out, catching, measuring the passing breezes. But this one is different. It looks like a stalagmite built up year by year over time, and it's turned into this kind of ugly sort of amalgamation of wood and struts that many wizards have come by and made additions over the year. Now, you're here because you have been tipped off that there is some sort of anomaly happening, whether it be supernatural, whether it be fluxes of magic that have been measured by passing people. You, Atticus Pennyweight, have been called to solve what is happening at this tower. Atticus Pennyweight, would you give me a description of yourself?
I'll do, yes. I will also, I drew him, so I need to put him up on my stream. You will not be able to see this, but our audience will. Oh, that's huge.
Hi.
Let me get him down there. He's a little too big. This is Atticus Pennyweight, premier arcane investigator. What I had for him, we're very familiar with Pathfinder, so I actually rolled this character in Pathfinder up to 10th level, and then we converted him into a Troika rule set, vaguely. It's more for just, like, framework and having an idea of a character rather than, like, mechanical stuff. And I made him an investigator, because investigator is a very, very good class. I also wanted to differ him from my other investigator, Tarm Armslong World's detective. He is a magic scholar. I think in a world of, like, minor arcanists and spellcrafters and stuff like that, it's not unusual to be able to use magic without being a genuine wizard. But I think of him as, like, a wizard expert. He specializes in wizard-related cases. And most importantly, he himself is not a wizard, which I think means that, like, wizards, like, fucking hate his ass. Like, he's just like, oh yes, I know all there is to know about magic and spells, and meanwhile, wizards are like, fuck this guy. This dumb motherfucker thinks he knows our business. So, the other question I had, I wonder, is just, like, I couldn't figure out, like, what kind of investigator he is, because, like, if I've come to a wizard's tower to solve a mystery, I wonder, like, is Atticus a PI? Did someone specific bring him here, or is he, like, does he work for the public sector? Like, did a government official say, like, we need to figure out what's going on with these wizard towers that are not on sovereign territory, like, they're in our territory? The homeowners association is getting mad about these wizard towers here.
I would answer your question with another question: is would Percival, your owl companion?
Oh yeah.
Are they like a message runner for you? Maybe you received like a missive inside of their claw at the beginning of the morning. That's how you kind of get your job work day to day.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I mean, that's a possibility for sure. Atticus, Percival, my owl, who I totally know the name of, I thought of him more as just like a familiar, like, less like a cherished pet and more like, you gotta have an owl. I mean, you gotta have an owl that can, like, fly and do telepathy so you can look through his eyes and shit. Like, that's just like a wizard staple.
Yeah,
cosmetic follower, exactly. Like, so
that's day one stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, like, it's very possible, I think, that Percival is, like, getting his mail for him and bringing him missives of all types.
All right.
But it's
receive.
Yeah, it's less the receiving.
Percival. Yeah. you receive a little scrawled note with just like an address, right? It says investigate. A very few details because it seems like it's still unfolding.
I'm imagining this is the first time he's ever like he normally gets his work like through an actual client facing sort of thing, and then just one day a missive arrives by Owl and he's like, interesting. I better investigate this right now. like setting up this like imagining like the luxurious establishing shots of his home and like the owl flying us into a window and like giving it to him as if to introduce us to his fantasy realm, and it just turns out like this has never happened before. He's just like, oh. Anyway, without any further ado, he sets off for Wizard's Tower. He smells a mystery afoot.
Oh yeah, you can smell it in the air, the magics. And do you have like any magic sense with this character?
Yes. Where's my skill list? I have a +3 to second sight, which under Troika rules is like your detect magic.
Okay.
Which I need to fucking have like the Troika rulebook in front of me. I should mention we are playing Troika, which is a wonderful tabletop game that we both love, but we also don't really know how to play it, so we're going to be kind of checking the book frequently and conferring. Huge shout out to Troika.
Wonderful book. I really don't understand how to play the game completely, but it just makes such a fun little whimsical framework for running your games that like whenever I'm dreaming something short, it's what I naturally jump to.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, second sight. Use of this allows the detection of magic. On a successful test, you focus your inner eye and all sorcerous activity glows faintly for a moment. So I guess that's like a very general purpose detect magic that doesn't even specify if I can detect like what kind of magic it is. So I guess that means you see if something is magic, yes or no, and you're like, I wonder what this does, and then you pick it up and find out.
Yeah. I would say if you wanted to roll under your skill stat.
Okay.
And then that would be also magic comes at a cost. You're gonna -1 from your stamina because that's the cost of your spell.
Yes, this is true. So I roll 2d6 to roll under?
Yes.
Okay. I will roll 2d6. I've rolled a 5 and a 6, which is an 11, and my skill is 8, so I think I have failed.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Look at this giant tower. Man, cool.
Oh, wait, actually, no. If I'm including... No, I did my math wrong. Okay. If I add 3 to that, that would meet? Yes, that would meet. I don't know what that means. So it's...
Great. So, I'll tell you this. It's still got to deduct 1 from your stamina, but...
Oh, sure, yeah.
Instead of sensing nothing, you kind of sense something a little more subtle. Like there has been a massive wave of magic, but it isn't here presently.
Interesting.
That it's almost like an invisible earthquake happened.
I'm seeing the fault lines in the weave.
Yes.
Okay.
And as you get closer to the tower, you come up to a door. A door that looks like it had several hands in its creation, since there are different ways that the wood is set inside of the door frame. The lining on the outside seems to stop at a certain way, change metals. There's also like a huge assortment of different knockers.
They couldn't have used the previous one. Every wizard had to add on a new one.
100%. Yeah. And just inside, you can hear that there seems to be a bit of a commotion going on.
Okay. Atticus looks to Percival and says, "Well, Percival, it looks like there's a mystery afoot." And without considering stealth in any fashion, he walks up and enters, or if he can enter, he will enter.
Absolutely. Door swings open, and you are immediately in an intense scene. You see that there are 3 wizards pointing wands and various casting implements at each other. One, a short, bearded wizard. The other, like a sly wizard in a duster. The other in a massive cowl that covers all of their features. The bearded wizard is holding 2 wands at both of the other people in the room and says, "I'm tired of this bullshit. Sparks are gonna fly, you hear me? We have to get to the bottom of this, and I'm getting a little testy." The wizard in the duster says, No, my friend. I think it's time that we take a little bit of subtlety, figure this out. I'm sure there's an answer that will calm our senses, make sure everyone's... Oh, it seems we have a visitor. And immediately wands and staves and, big casting gestures are being sent your way as you enter in through the doorway.
Good evening, gentlemen. I haven't thought about what Atticus's voice is like. I feel like I'm going to slip into Tarm by accident. Good evening, gentlemen. It seems to me that there is a mystery afoot. Could it be you are having some sort of problem here in Wizard's Tower?
Plenty of problems. Now you've stepped into our Vitruvian standoff. Ah, another wizard's hat has been tossed into the proverbial ring.
Ahem. Now, there's no need for that, gentlemen. I'm sure we can settle this all like fine gentlemen without the need for magic, which I will say that as any wizard would instantly be able to realize, the fact that he said, "No, I don't think we should have a wizard fight," means this guy's not a wizard. No wizard in their right mind would say, like, "No, we should not have a wizard standoff right now. What are you people doing?
Honestly,
we're going to kill each other."
I don't want to use my spells today, said no wizard ever.
Now, let's he kind of walks up and sort of puts hands on shoulders and is like, now, I'm sure we can settle this all like perfectly reasonable gentlemen.
The bearded wizard, which I'm just going to refer to as the grizzled wizard, slaps your hand away, says, No. Hey, someone around here hasn't paid their due. We're going to see some sparks, my friend. My hands are itching for some magic.
I would like to use awareness to see if I can really just kind of like what this whole situation is, but also like people's demeanor towards each other, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
So I think that will be an 11, which is 8 plus 3, which is my awareness. So I'll try to roll under an 11. I hit 11 again. What the fuck? The one game where I'm supposed to roll low.
Uh-huh. You know what? That's going to make for some great stuff, I think.
Awesome.
You kind of like see the situation. Instantly you recognize the grizzard, as people are calling it, as the aggressor. It seems the wizard in the duster is trying to calm the situation, and the wizard in the coil is in the cowl?
Cowl?
Is that? Cowl. Sure. Is kind of like this floating factor in the room. They haven't dropped their hands. They're still, you can see like little motes of magic are gathering around their hands as things are getting a little more intense.
Now, sir, I don't think there's any need for any offensive arcane magics today. No, sir. I think we can settle this mystery post-haste, as it were. Tell me, may I inquire whose tower this is?
The duster wizard says, finally, a little bit of sense in this room. Oh, by the way, I have cast all these people. The wizard in the duster is played by, for real, Anna Gunn.
Okay.
I've got a generic stock image for our
Cowl Wizard.
Cowl Wizard. And then I just found this picture. I searched for the oldest man and got this.
That's Grizzled Wizard?
Like it. That's Grizzled Wizard.
He does look like the oldest man. I'd believe it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's really good.
He seems like...
Sorry, what was your question? I got lost.
I asked whose tower it was.
For real, Anna Gunn says, well, that's a question that spans the ages, my friend. This has been rented out and taken over. We've had pirates here, we've had great casters, necromancers. For now, it is in the air.
Ah, a storied, embattled history of ownership over a wizard's tower. Most fascinating. He takes out a journal and starts writing something down.
Well, write down this. I'm gonna take the first step in disintegrating these fools.
He writes that down.
The grizzled wizard, like, 4 or 5 more wands start levitating behind him, pointing at various things, like you, the hooded wizard, Anna Gunn. Like, all of these things are just like swirling around, and magic motes are just whizzing through the air, trying to find purchase and where the target actually is.
I use wait, I have a spell for this, I think. Amity, I think. Wait, no, hang on. How does Amity work? I need to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's the spell tab? Here we go. Amity. The College of Friends always sends out its factotums on nights after Amity classes. Clearing out the bars and brothels of their drunken apprentices is tiring work. Use of this spell causes the target to test their luck or skill for enemies, or become very friendly towards the wizard as though they were an old friend. They won't act irrationally, though, and if they are already a bit of a bore, this might not change much. So
Okay.
that's kind of like a gentle charm.
Yeah. I cast friends.
There
we go.
I cast friends. How do I? Okay, so wait. You must spend stamina equal to the casting cost. The numbers in brackets. Okay, Amenity is 4, so I'm gonna have to spend 4 stam doing this. That's okay. And then I need to roll under 9, which,
Okay.
judging how we've been doing so far, is kind of unlikely. Ooh, I rolled an 8. Okay.
Alright, hey.
And that cost me 4
Suddenly-
stam. There we go.
The grizzard, like, oh my god, if it isn't you. I forgot your name, but I remember that you and I shared a drink sometime, right?
Atticus Pennyweight. And no, we have not, sir, but that's quite all right.
That's all right.
It's like
Maybe I ought to get you a drink.
Actively sabotaging his own spell.
Yeah. Well, my memory just ain't what it used to be. I'm so sorry. Atticus. Barnabas, that's me. This is Anna Gunn. And here's the Wanderer. You ever met the Wanderer before?
Would he be? I have a skill called Wizard Knowledge. Would I know who the Wanderer is? Maybe.
No need. The Wanderer retracts their casting hands and says, oh, hold on.
He says that?
The Wanderer, yeah.
Okay. I don't think I have any sort of language skills.
That's fine.
I guess that's. I'll say Atticus takes that as a friendly gesture, or at least a neutral gesture. And says, "Well, it is a pleasure to meet all of you. But I have to wonder, and I must inquire, what drew this confrontation to such a ghastly conclusion that it might have resorted to fisticuffs, I wonder."
The Wanderer smooths their robe and says, and the rest of the wizards in the room kind of hang their heads low. Anna Gunn looks at you and says, "Someone hasn't paid their due."
Oh. Is there... Is there... okay, Atticus asks, interesting. Does this tower possess some sort of landlord? Or superintendent?
You're gonna have to go to the very top to find that out.
Atticus looks up.
You see the ceiling?
Fuck. It's okay. I look for like a mode to go up, like stairs.
Oh, yeah. You see that there is a draw cord at the far end of the room that might have sort of like a latch to pull down some stairs.
Oh, okay. Oh, hang on. Noelle needs to know what my channel is.
I told her.
I know, but she doesn't.
Lagoner.web.
She doesn't know. So I need to link it for her. That's okay. I got it.
Okay. Noelle, by the way, is our good friend. She plays a champion of Nocticula, and she is constantly writing smut.
Yep.
Yep.
Her old character was canonically writing smut, and then she went to jail. Not for writing smut, but it wasn't. It couldn't have helped. Anyway.
Yeah.
I say, well, Percival, looks like we have to travel to top of Wizard's Tower if we hope for any answers. Percival, by the way, is clearly uncomfortable that he's an owl that's in like a small confined room.
Sure, yeah.
And I walk up to the hatch, and I kind of send Percival off my arm, and he flies up like 3 feet and then pulls the latch for me. Like, completely pointless thing for him to do.
Sure, yeah. Totally within arm's reach.
Yes, exactly.
As Percival does that, the Wanderer comes over and stands ominously between you and the now pulled down latch and extends this hand with looks like too many fingers, open with palm up.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet... I shake his hand and I say, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir, but I am afraid I need to head upstairs to investigate further. What happens to me?
They retract their hand and, like, shake it out and, like, start blowing on it, trying to get any dust off. And a very mean-sounding...
what did his hand feel like?
Almost, like, diaphanous. like a Korean ghost.
Okay. I'm trying to think if Atticus would have any inclination of what this could mean, what this thing could be.
Mm-hmm.
I look to the others and I say, pardon me, might any of you be able to elucidate what he is trying to tell me? I'm afraid I don't speak his tongue.
Very simple, Atticus, my oldest friend. You have to pay your due.
Oh, my rent, as it were. To partake of Wizard's Tower?
That is exactly it. I was trying to make it sound mysterious, but you got it right on the nose.
Atticus looks very proud of himself for being able to diffuse something so tactful. I didn't. I forgot to like actually kind of suss out how much money I have. He looks through his wallet. He looks through his wallet and
says, "Very
says,
funny if you know money."
he looks through his wallet and asks, How much does rent of Wizard's Tower cost? My tickets to Wizard's Tower."
The Wanderer holds up one finger, and then 2 fingers, and kind of shakes their hand, looks around the room. 3 fingers.
Now hold on, you can't just change it on me like that. Make up your mind.
Just kind of like moves their hands around as if like testing different weights. Kind of shrugs and says, 2 fingers.
Very well. Atticus looks in his wallet and 2 moths fly out, and he hands the moths over.
The Wanderer snatches them from the air, and they crumble in their hands as like motes of magic, octarine magic start floating off, and nods and points you towards the stairs that have descended from the ceiling.
Superb! He looks to Percival and said, I really didn't think that would work, but okay. And he makes his way up the stairs.
As you're going up the stairs, you hear behind you, "Now, where were we? All right, time for some spells." And you hear like,
Oh, right, the spell
giraffe
works. I think the spell probably
starts-
only works until I leave. Yeah.
yeah, you hear like an elephant trumpet, and you hear like glass shattering. A monkey screeches behind you, and the door like snaps up, and you are inside of a staircase.
Well, I hope they resolve their problems with grace.
Oh. You travel the staircase for quite a while, and it seems like it goes up in spirals. It goes for kind of long ways. It turns into a ladder for a little bit. And then you find that you are inside of a different flat. This flat
oh.
has pipes coming out of the walls, joining with rivets, has big old beakers, test tubes, but that's not the most important thing in the room right now. What you see are several what look like scientists with like different proportions, all changing like little different like their suits are all messed up and their hairs are all changed. Right now, all of these scientists are pantomiming a rowboat going across the ceiling backwards as one of the scientists is yelling silently into what you would assume is like a little bullhorn.
Interesting.
And they are causing a muck.
Do they seem to be doing this with like a degree of urgency? Does it seem like whatever the fuck they're doing that it's like life or death, or are they just kind of like having a go of it?
They're like really intensely. You would imagine they are at some high level regatta, fighting for first place. They are sweating that is dripping down from the ceiling onto the floor, and the one of the scientists who is standing on the floor next to you, like pulls an oar out of nowhere and shoves it to you.
Pulls a what out of nowhere?
An oar.
Oh, like
Pulls
a
an
like
oar
like
out of nowhere.
like a big rock of minerals.
Like a
or boat
you
oar,
would
boat oar.
paddle a boat with.
My brain wasn't working. By Monroe's beard, what is happening here?
The scientist like shoves the oar in your hands and like points up to the ceiling, like indicating as much as they can to like join them.
So are
without
they
saying anything?
Are they literally rowboating on the ceiling?
It looks like it. There's no rowboat. There's no oars.
But
There's
they're
no
like upside
cocktail.
down?
They're upside down, slowly kind of like inching along the ceiling while just putting their entire backs into it.
Okay. I don't know. Atticus has to be at least aware that mimes exist, right? Like, I don't know if he'd be able to like figure out that that this is probably some kind of mime operation.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use
wizards,
awareness.
but
Yeah, I'm gonna use awareness to see if I can suss out what sort of mime-like activity is happening here.
okay,
So
gotcha.
that'll be if I can roll under an 11. I rolled a 12, motherfucker. Okay. I don't know.
That's not an oops, is it?
No, oops is for spells.
Okay.
Oops is if I fuck up a spell, which actually,
Okay.
considering that I fucked that up and I can't make sense of this usually. What other spells do I have?
I think when you're trying to perceive what's happening,
Yes.
you are so overcome by the chaos that it all just looks like a maze. You can't sort out any pertinent information. You can't say, that's weird. It is all weird.
It's
all
overwhelming me.
Yeah, it's like you have several concerts going on in your head trying to figure out what information is vital to you.
Rats. There they are. They don't look like mimes.
Welcome to the circus.
It's the circus. Okay, so the circus is and there are 5 of them?
I would say at least 2 dozen.
Okay.
Yeah, there's several boats going across the ceiling at various speeds. There's a cheerleader section.
Under
some-
under better circumstances, I would say that Atticus would take interest and try to figure this out, but I'm guessing that because I fucked up and this is overwhelming here, he's like, I need to get the fuck out of here right now. He just he sees all this mime action, this clownery going on. Maybe he's like really. I don't think he's scared of clowns, but I do think that as a magic practitioner, he knows how dangerous clowns can be, and he is quite wary.
Oh yeah. And let me be clear, there is like no point of egress right here. There's so much happening on the ceiling, on the floor. Like it looks like there's several bystanders who are selling invisible hot dogs, and someone is like cuddled up in the corner with a bunch of blankets, and there's no ladder, there's no stairs. You can't even see if there would be like a little draw cord to pull another set of stairs from the ceiling.
Okay.
And as you're standing there, you're waiting for it. The scientist who, handed you the ore, just exasperated, flips their hands up and starts frisking you.
Well, now hold on, sir. That won't be necessary. I have no dangerous articles on me whatsoever.
I'm gonna have you roll a d6.
Yes.
And whichever item in order on your inventory sheet, I'm gonna be stealing that.
Okay. I rolled a 2. I don't know where my inventory sheet is. I swear I had one.
It's okay. Take your time.
I don't know where it is. I want to say that 2.
Well, in the character creation for Troika, I just stole a knife from you.
That's yeah. He stole not my trusty knife.
Yeah, the scientist pulls the knife from you, and suddenly out of nowhere just starts waggling it, and it looks like it turned to rubber.
No, my trusty knife. That was a gift from my mentor.
Oh, Atticus lore.
Yeah, and it's fucking rubber now. It's useless.
Yeah.
I do think that he's been roused enough that he's kind of getting the idea of maybe I do need, maybe to engage with this field of magic, I do need to partake in the mimery myself. And with great discomfort, because I think this is completely foreign to him, he goes, all right. Now, give me just a moment here. He walks over to the wall as if that's how you get to the ceiling. You have to row up the wall first before you can start rowing on the ceiling. And he
sure
gently.
You're gonna try tap dancing on the proscenium.
Yes, quite literally.
Okay.
I'm rowing up the proscenium. He kind of very uncomfortably takes the oar and starts stroking either side of him one at a time. He also probably has never even thought about the fact that you need to use muscles to row a boat. He doesn't know anything about what. He's never done an honest day's work in his life, so he's never he doesn't really know exactly how to row. As
you take the oar and you tentatively scrape it against the wall, suddenly you are shunted back
away from the wall.
You are standing in front of a door that looks like it had several hands in its creation.
Oh.
With multiple knockers, different ways the wood is inlaid into the door frame, a trimming that seems to stop and start at various times, and you hear a little bit of intrigue happening beyond the door.
Is the overwhelming mimery still occurring around me?
You are no longer in that room.
Oh, okay. I've been shunted elsewhere.
You are at the base of the tower, outside.
Oh. He looks around and says, awfully peculiar. I'd like to use awareness to see if anything has perhaps changed Or
I think using the magic that you used at the beginning of the adventure, you feel like that giant unseen earthquake just happened again.
Oh, okay. Atticus says, and enters once more.
You see a grizzled wizard saying, "I'm tired of all this. Some sparks are gonna fly unless I get some answers."
Most
For real,
peculiar.
Anna Gunn is standing there. Come on, friend. There's a more subtle approach we can take to get through all of this.
Is the Wanderer there?
The Wanderer's there,
All right.
casting hands in a spell-casting pose.
Atticus kind of stands brazenly close to this display and says, perhaps chronomancy is afoot.
Ding, 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 ding. Welcome to the Tower Investigation.
Oh, shit. Title drop.
Title drop. Is it current?
He kind of resumes, realizing that it's a time loop, but not realizing, like, he has to start over again. He just sort of, like, continues his conversations with the three wizards here, says, I say, are you three aware of any sort of chronomancy occurring?
Chronomancy? No, it's straight up evocation on this level. You're about to see it. You're about to see it in a cornucopia of sparks.
Well, if it's all right with you fine folk. He was about to say gentlemen, but he realized that for real Anna Gunn was there, and he pivoted. No, come to think of it, one man, one woman, and one thing are in the room. So he's like, oh, you fine folk here. I shall take my leave and head upwards. Say, are any of you familiar with the the mimes on the second floor?
Real Anna Gunn looks at you and says, "You've been to the second floor?
Why,
I've never
yes.
seen you around here before."
Well, we do appear to be caught in some sort of chronomantic aberration, as it were. He finds it impossible to say the words time loop. He needs to sound smart.
Chronomantic, huh? The grizzled wizard says, "That's enough talking. It's time for some action." And swings multiple wands up into the air, pointing all directly at you.
Shit. I assume that my... Well, actually, I guess there's nothing, like, spell slot related in this game. He says, now listen, I'm sure we can reason this out like, perfect gentlemen. I cast open on the hatch and quickly run up as fast as I can.
Yes. Okay.
I'm gonna...
Do you need to roll for that?
I think I do. It's a spell, after all. I mean, I could have just opened it with my hands, but I do think you would do this as fast as possible.
Uh-huh.
I met it. I cast it. I needed to roll under a 9, and I rolled a 9.
Fantastic. Okay. You, like, cast a spell, the stairs drop down, and you run through the room as, like, the Wanderer casts an opening mouth pit on the floor that you jump over, and like suddenly sparks are flying, like chain lightning, birds are everywhere. It's suddenly a John Woo movie. You make your way up, and you're back to the circus.
I'm back to the circus. Does the same wizard come over to me and hand me the oar and gesture feverishly?
This time, you see that there is an entire symphony with no music, and the scientist standing next to you is now conducting them with a real-ass gun.
With a gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like eyeing them intensely, swinging their arms out, taking a moment to point one at the tuba player, who like sits up in their seat and starts playing music that doesn't ring out.
Okay, so like they're all like clearly playing, but there's like no actual sound happening, right?
Right.
Okay. I guess I would like to use I don't know. I mean, this clearly whatever is happening here is clearly related to the fact that there's not just no speaking, but no sound. I guess I'd like to use second sight to see if I can ascertain of any specific... I mean, honestly, let's be real. If I use detect magic here, this whole place would light up like a Christmas tree. But, like, I'm trying to use second sight to see if I can discern anything of a particular note, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be rolling under an 11. Let me try that again. Okay, got a 5.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, the whole thing lights up, especially all of the scientists. You do notice that there is a weaker glow coming from one scientist in the corner who is just standing still.
Interesting.
But all of the magical machinery in the room is all kind of like funneling magic towards a corner.
Oh, interesting. Atticus, he's now like thinking like maybe I need to be quiet too. So now he has like a really reverb heavy voiceover happening. And he's like, perhaps the latent magical energies in this room are being funneled to a single source. And I'd like to follow the pipes into the corner in particular.
As you start walking towards the, following the traces of magic through the pipes, a shot rings out.
Oh.
And
the gun has been fired?
Bullet from the gun just like plinks right next to your foot and a spray of wood chips comes up. And you see as the conductor is like furiously looking at you, eyes wide. In that moment,
yes,
a spring of water erupts from next to your foot where the bullet landed, and the entire orchestra goes into a frenzy. They're like grabbing buckets and just like, smacking the plume of water.
Am I like close to the magic source? Can I like see where it's going?
You can see that it's going into this big ol', almost looks like a boiling chamber with a single window on it.
I make
an angry red light
behind it. I make a mad. I make a mad dash for that door.
Yeah. Like chaos. Everyone is like grabbing pillows and trying to stop the flow of water.
Is there one
hugging each other and doing silent screams?
There's one guy dressed as like a little Dutch boy who's like trying desperately to get a finger in there.
Yeah, just like holding up a single finger, like I got this, while everyone is like, someone got a baseball bat and they're just smacking the water.
I love, like, trying to solve this problem as if the water itself is an invader that they need to stop.
Suddenly the water turns into a spire of flame that just starts shooting out of the ground.
All right, I run to the door. I attempt to open it.
Okay. The door is sealed tight, and this bright red light is flashing. While everyone has just like a fist fight started for no good reason,
as one always does.
Yeah, at every single hit, you can hear this like timpani is starting to ring out while these people are like boffing each other in the stomach and smacking each other, doing the 2-finger point to each other's eyes.
Can I open the door?
You can try.
I try to open the door.
Okay, give me a luck check.
I can do those. So I have to roll under my luck, and it will get lower every time? It
will get lower every time.
Okay, minuses by 1. Cool. So I'll try to roll under a 10, which is my current luck. I got a 12.
Oh. Okay, that's not good.
Nope.
Now your luck's lower. It's a 9
right.
now.
Yeah, sure is.
This is an expendable resource. Whenever I don't know what to make you roll, I'm going to make you roll luck. If you succeed, then yeah, we just magically move on to the next point. If you fail, things are going to get worse.
Yep.
Yeah. Suddenly, the conductor notices that you are causing more trouble, and you are attempting to, like, in this attempt to open the door, maybe you lost your footing, you slapped the door itself, and the conductor starts walking to you with the gun trained on you.
It made a very loud gong noise that wasn't in time with the rest of the cacophony in the room. It was like extremely noticeable.
Yeah, he waves over a couple of other scientists who are like brandishing fifes, and they are ready to take you out.
You wouldn't hit a guy wearing glasses, would you? You wouldn't shoot a man with a gun who was wearing you wouldn't
The conductor like reaches into their lab coat and pulls out a pair of glasses and puts them on.
Oh.
And points the gun at you again.
Oh, maybe you would then. Atticus is actually capable of fighting. I would like to say that he has maybe not a rapier, but a particularly fancy boy-esque short sword that he draws, and he attempts to disarm his attacker with sword fighting.
Okay.
Which I don't...
is this against the conductor?
Yes, because he's the one pointing a gun at me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember how... roll versus. So I think both of us roll 2d6 and then compare results, and whoever's higher wins.
Okay.
So
great.
I'll roll 2d6 plus 2 for my sword fighting.
All right.
I got a 10 total.
I got 10 on the dime, my friend.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I got like 8.
I'm going to shoot you.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
He's like, you wouldn't shoot a guy where, and then.
Okay, so, oh my god, I have to look up damage rules real quick.
I think it's like if you roll damage on one die, and then it correlates to a specific number of hit points.
Okay, I'm gonna say that does. Oh, that's gonna do 5 points of damage to your stamina
Youch!
as you get winged in the shoulder.
All right, I'm down to 12.
As this is happening, you notice that the 5 players are like stepping in, but they seem kind of hesitant to fully engage you.
I'm trying to ask, could I possibly ascertain what their reason for stopping is?
You're just looking at them, but you see kind of like all this chaos is happening in the background. The water plume that's turned into fire is like starting to, focus into almost like a torch flame as people are just, the ensemble of instruments have dropped all intention of stopping it. Now they're worshiping the flame.
I look back and it's like the situation has completely changed.
Yeah, the 5 players, they're so hesitant, and while they're like looking at you, you can see as their eyes dart to the growing and glowing red light behind you. Seems like they're scared of it.
Has the light changed at all this whole time, or is it still just the same kind of flashing strange beacon?
Flash, flash, flash.
So, could it be you're scared of what lies behind the mysterious door?
You go on.
He's trying to be a badass right now and failing tremendously because he goes, perhaps I can elucidate you, and he attempts to smash open the porthole window.
Yeah, go ahead. And do you have strength or do you have skill?
No, I could just roll under my general skill to see if I have strength. I don't think he's weak, but he's certainly not strong. He's not going to have like a bonus of any kind.
Right, you got still skill, stamina, and luck. Okay, give me a skill check.
Okay, so my skill's 8, so I'm gonna attempt to roll under an 8.
Mhm.
Which seems possible. I got a 9. Atticus is bad. I attempt to elbow it, and my elbow just like bounces off with a resounding bong, and I'm like, ah, ow!
You take 2 more stamina damage.
Monroe's
And,
beard.
But you see as like with that attempt to smash the porthole, like everyone jumps back a little bit, even the people who are worshiping the flame, like looking around, trying to see like something's about to happen.
He kind of realizes he's drawn the attention of the entire room with this action. He kind of like gestures like, oh, am I gonna do it? I'm gonna like try to open it. Like he kind of like makes a sudden reach for the door just to see what everyone reacts.
The conductor slides out the magazine of the gun, throws away the gun, pulls out a new gun, and smacks it on the magazine. Slowly puts their hands up and fires a bullet into the ceiling.
Okay. Does anything happen, or was that just to tell me what's what?
Another like spout of flame starts coming from the ceiling.
Fuck!
And everyone goes into chaos.
I dodge it, and I think he just kind of makes like a panicked run and sees if there's like anything else in the room that could possibly give him an answer. Any other possible ray of hope? He's never been this in over his head.
The only things that stand out to you are the big, like, boiler with a door, with the porthole that you smacked your hand against.
Yes.
There is a scientist in the corner who is just standing still. And then there is just a giant puddle of chaos, like, people just going, cuckoo bananas.
I would like to run over to the man in the corner. And,
Okay.
Maybe not, like, point a sword at him, but, like, very, as threatening as I can manage, which is not very threatening at all. I want to, like, run up to him and do, like, perhaps you have something to do with this.
Almost completely comatose, they look up at you and, like, do a small gesture with their hand, like grabbing at something, twisting, and then putting their hand back down at their side.
Did it look like a door opening animation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I, perplexed, I, like, do the same thing right in front of him, as if that were some kind of greeting.
They, like, slowly smile and nod at you, and then look right back down at the floor.
Well, that hardly helped. He looks around the room, like puts his hand on the back of his head, and they're kind of like, oh, geez, like.
Bullets are ringing out like crazy right now.
Yeah. He ducks low in an attempt to dodge any fire plumes or wayward bullets, and what kind of handle does the boiler room door have? Does it have the sort of would the handle of the door line up with the kind of handle opening gesture he was doing?
It looks like at a glance that it's just kind of like a spare piece of rebar that was welded to the door.
Oh, like really
General
jury
assumption
rigged.
would be just pulling it.
Okay, I
But
see.
you do see that there's like an inlaid circle around it. Maybe that would line up with the handle.
Oh, I see. You mean like around the door?
Around the handle itself, there's a little circle inlaid.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Interesting. I kind of sneak up to the door in all the chaos, hoping that no one sees me, and I attempt to open the door one more time.
Yeah. Oh, fistfights are breaking out. Someone found a unicycle. People are juggling. And you are just doing tippy toes through all of that, trying to get back to the door. And you find yourself at the door.
I attempt to grab the embossed circle and turn it as if just to see if that does anything.
Yeah, you grab it, rotate it, and this puff of steam comes from the edges of the door, and everything goes quiet.
Before
Plumes of fire disappear. The door slowly opens as smoke pours out, and you see a scientist that looks exactly like a scientist walking out.
Oh, I think we're having stream dropping. Hang on.
Forget.
Hold on.
All right.
Or at least OBS is saying I'm having stream droppage. Could be
Yeah, I
fine.
just saw a little pause. Looks like we're okay.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
So within the boiler room door is this mysterious mime?
Yeah. Fully looks like, as all of the other scientists kind of have distorted features and changes to their dress and hairstyle, this scientist comes out with a clean crew cut, pair of glasses, a nice set and steamed lab coat, and she walks out and says, "What happened here? What went wrong?"
I That's a great question. I look around and at the genuine chaos, and I look back to her and say, I was hoping you could tell me.
Oh no. Oh, this is not what I intended at all. Quick question. Scale of 1 to 10, how do you like these folks?
Atticus is completely blindsided. Is like, some of them tried to kill me, so I would say 5.
Okay, all right. I am taking your input. I will put it into the design. Thank you. Yes, everyone. And she calls out to the entire group, and they all kind of form ranks and stand there. And thank you for being a early tester of my duplication spell. It seems like I still have some kinks to work out.
Literally, is every scientist in the same room the same one?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that. Okay.
Yes. Oh, I am practicing cloning.
I see. Can I I'm assuming Atticus has met a clown before. Can I at this point could I ascertain is this woman just a clown, straight up?
No. She looks like a scientist.
She looks like a scientist. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Maybe I would count her as a form of sorcerer since she's trying to create magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I say, well, this is a rather hectic display. What are... completely baffled, just staring out in the sea of the torrents of flame and bullet holes and everything like that. It's like, what are your duplicates hoping to accomplish?
Oh, everything and anything. You see, I was able to fragment parts of my understanding of the world and give them a little bit at a time to all of the clones. I seem to have imparted the part of my brain that remembers how to leave this airlock. Oh, there. She points at the clone in the corner who's still just kind of looking down at the floor. That one knew how to get out. It seems like they got out of their invisible box real early on. They figured that out. So that's cool. And the clone kind of looks over and gives a thumbs up.
Huh. This is all going clear over Atticus's head. He does not understand a lick of what is happening right now.
Yes. Well, if you're looking to be an early adopter, I have some forms you can you can fill out rather, and any sort of donation that you want to give would be greatly appreciated. Even as little as 400 silver pences would go a long way towards my research.
I'm. I'll certainly consider it. Could you tell me how to get up to the next floor? Possibly?
Oh, easy, yes. She walks over to a wall, flips up a hidden latch, smacks a button, and a pneumatic tube extends from one of the walls and slurps you up into a stairway.
Futurama style?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I've been sucked.
You got sucked.
Alright.
Okay. You're back on the stairs.
Interesting.
Current and best has gotten higher. Look at that. Making progress.
my PB.
Yes. As you enter this new flat, what's going through your head?
Atticus is in way over his head. I think he's used to wizard disputes being like very simple matters of like, I mean, usually complicated, like matters of like property ownership or litigious things, or even just like old-fashioned murder or stuff like that. I don't know if he's ever been in like a place this dense with magic, like just this veritable multi-layer cake of fucked up magic that ascends higher and higher. So I think he feels very in over his head at this point. Like he might even be wondering like what he's doing here. Like why did he's probably second guessing coming here in the first place, but momentum pushes him onward for sure.
Yeah. As you're traveling up the stairs, kind of lost in thought, thinking about your place in all of this, you look up and find yourself outside of the tower, in front of a door that seems to have many hands in its creation, multiple knockers, different sets of wood inlaid into the frame.
I look around to make fuck. Okay. Shit. How did so what, from my perspective, I like went through the tube and now I'm here?
Yeah. It is almost like a slam cut in a movie.
Got it.
That like you're in the tube, sucked up into the stairway, walking up the stairs, just kind of get lost in thought for a second, and suddenly you're back.
Okay. Interesting. I actually would like to take a potty break if that's okay with you.
Yeah, totally.
And then we'll come back to this. So
Great.
my BRB scene's in the wrong place. Get up there. Okay. Be back in a moment. I will mute you so people can't hear you. And we're back. All right. I think Atticus probably takes a second to consider that he's in over his head. I'm trying to think of who he would ask for help. I don't know if it, like, if he has... Do we think he's like a private investigator, or does he like work for like a larger commission? Do you think?
I think I tend to think that Atticus is like fascinated by wizards and maybe a traveling scholar. But his predilection for spellcasting and understanding spellcasters has made him kind of a necessary person inside of these anomalies. Okay. Since magic is a little Wild West, right?
Yes.
So that sort of knowledge comes in useful for when wizards are about to open rifts or just doing silly stuff.
I'm guessing.
Lots of
Okay.
trouble.
I have a because part of rolling him as a Pathfinder character, I gave him a dedication in Thaumaturge with a tome. So in my mind, and like in how I planned him, he has sort of like a, not necessarily like a magical tome, like a wizard's tome, but he has a tome on him.
Yeah.
I've yet to consider if hang on, I have to enable the term fuck ass in my chat. I don't know why fucking Automod felt the need to hide that.
That's a good word. I
guess he kind of says, and he sits down on the steps of the wizard's tower and opens up his tome. I'm assuming he just has like a big magical glossary. Maybe either like just kind of like a general almanac, and by almanac I mean like massive fucking textbook, or like a magical tome that is like so dense that it is like genuinely hard to navigate any successful information. But he is gotten quite comfortable at finding answers in his big old tome. So I'd like to say that he kind of consults, like the next closest thing would be like consulting the stars. He's like, has anything like this happened before? Is there any precedent for this? And if there isn't precedent for this, what is the closest thing to this in history, I guess?
The the temporal anomaly itself?
Yes.
I think time is a very powerful magic because it's very poorly understood.
Oh, the strongest, for sure.
But there are recordings of wizards who have tapped into the magics of time and just completely locked themselves into terrible situations. There was one wizard who was able to slow time to a crawl, or perhaps speed up time for themselves. And the lasting effect on the world is that this wizard is just stationary, locked in time, and unable to be affected by outside sources. He was later repurposed as a statue for the central square that a town he lived in.
Yeah, they had spray paint on him and everything.
Yeah, they went and put some stucco on him, said, yeah, that's fine.
In fact, it was long enough ago that like people forgot that there was any separation at all. Like they just think he is the statue. Like he's not actually there anymore. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, that must have happened somewhere else. But like, like a millennia later, one guy's like, I'm pretty sure his arm has moved like 2 centimeters in the last 500 years. I think this guy's still here.
The stucco's kind of cracking, but people are like, yeah, we'll just reseal it.
Yeah. They just think it's erosion and not actually like him moving.
Yeah. And any attempts to move the statue were unsuccessful.
Chronomancy is very dangerous, for sure. And I think Atticus is aware of how insanely dangerous chronomancy could be. I think chronomancy is probably illegal, and like strictly illegal in most of the world, but how do you possibly police that?
All the more reason to get to the top of the tower, see what's going on.
Yes,
by the way,
this has reinvigorated him.
the top of this time loop, you are going to regain 1d6 plus 2 stamina.
Oh, great. 1d6 plus 2, huh? That's a... Now I roll low. It's a one and a 2. So that's... you said plus 2? Plus 3?
Uh-huh.
Plus 2. Okay, so I got
Plus
5 stamina back. I'm back up to 15. It's not nothing.
Okay. It isn't.
I send my loyal ward Percival flying up around the tower. I attempt to survey the outside of it.
Okay. You see through Percival's eyes, soaring up through the multiple levels of the tower, kind of the gribbles on the outside where wayward wizards nestled for a little while. It's almost like you're climbing a tall tree and finding discarded nests made by birds. And you get to the very top, and you find that the windows are shuttered.
Interesting, but they look like normal windows.
Yeah.
I telepathically command Percival to see if he can open them.
Okay. What's the strength of an owl?
Probably not that strong.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how heavy it is. I would say if it were a window, a standard unlocked window latch, he might be able to open it. But if it's really heavy wood shutters, I don't think he'd be able to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear from Percival's thoughts, but it's just quiet, normal. I mean, there's a bit of chaos happening a couple floors down.
Right. Ascending, he can hear every kerfuffle happening.
Yeah.
Interesting. Having gleaned nothing, I recall Percival.
Great. Yeah. Sorry I couldn't be more help.
That's okay.
Oh.
I guess Atticus heads back in.
Okay. You enter into the landing of the tower. You see a grizzled wizard say, "I've had enough."
Yes. I completely sidestep and interrupt this whole thing and just insert myself into this conflict and say, "Now, yes, I understand. You're here to use evocation rampantly. Now, listen, my name is Atticus Pennyweight, and we are all stuck in a time loop of chronomantic origin. Are any of you aware of this?"
Huh? What?
Chronomancy, sir. It's a field of magic. I assume that any good wizard would be familiar with that. He's getting much snippier than usual. Atticus is usually not this. This is borderline yelling and cussing for him, is being this snippy with people.
Anna Gunn looks at you and says, "Are you some kind of city inspector?"
Am I?
That's up to you, bud.
I don't know. I'm thinking the idea of him being a city inspector is really funny to me, because that means this ancient monolithic tower of centuries of wizards and arcane happenings is just on like city territory somewhere, or has recently become part of city territory, and they're like, yeah, we got to figure out what's going on with this whack ass tower we have. Like, we have like a housing development coming next year. Like, we need to do something about it.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't.
The Wanderer
Yeah.
puts their hands down and kind of like eases the tension of the situation for a second. And they kind of like reach over and grab Anna Gunn's chin and like.
You do really good. You do really good Animal Crossing animalese, by the way.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. The Wanderer walks over to the grizzled wizard and tugs on his beard and says, and the grizzled wizard casts down his wands from both of his hands, and several of the wands drop out of the air. You're so right. And the Wanderer stands up to you and just kind of looks defeated, kind of gestures around, and looks uneasy on how to continue. What do you do?
I say, well, I think whatever the source of this aberration is coming from the top floor of this tower. And I must say, I have no idea how to get up there. I suggest we all put our minds together and attempt to figure out a solution.
All right. Think we can do that. Do you want to, like, sit down and talk about it a little bit, or just want to head on up?
I feel like sitting down and talking about it would be fine.
Okay. You sit down. Anna Gunn pulls out a table, starts making some tea. The
She
Wanderer,
literally pulls out a table, like, out of thin air.
Yeah, out of it's magic. The Wanderer runs over and grabs a lyre and kind of starts playing some sitting music as everyone gets settled.
Sitting music. Can you describe sitting music for me?
So it's very Mort Garrison Plantasia.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. It's just in the background. It's not too egregious, but definitely not sleepy time music.
He starts playing. Oh, okay. I was not sleepy time. I was about to say he starts playing Brian Eno's music for Airports 1 on the lyre.
I love music for airports.
Yeah, dude.
It's like drive time music. But as you get settled down, the grizzled wizard says,
All right. Let's drum up a plan.
You are shunted back outside. You are standing in front of the door. You regain 6 stamina.
God,
you're at
sarn it!
the time loop again.
I'm back up to. Oh, I'm almost at full. Backed up at 21. Okay.
There you go.
What could have happened? It was when. So remind me. The first one happened when I attempted to row up a wall. The second time was while I was flying through the pipe.
Yes.
Which was it was taking me upward, right? Like it wasn't like going in a strange direction. Okay, it was taking me upwards, and then he just said, "Let's think of a plan," and then it happened.
Yes.
Highly perplexing.
Yeah.
I use my I don't know if I have any like investigator. The funny thing about like investigator and PF2E is like so many of his skills are roll a die and the DM will tell you the answer. Fuck puzzles.
Yeah.
I don't want to invoke
puzzles
that.
right here.
I don't want to invoke that, but I'm also like having a really hard time figuring out any sort of like continuity, like what is triggering the time loop. I guess I just I just do a cursory walk around the tower just to make sure there's nothing like obvious I'm missing, like a second door.
It looks like there have been doors that were painted over by new tenants. There is one door that's unlocked. You open it and there's another door inside, and you open that and there's a brick wall behind it that says "fuck you."
All right. I go back to the main door.
Okay. There's several knockers, lots of different woods.
I knock. Okay, I knock one of them. I knock the topmost one.
The door slowly creaks open, and the grizzled wizard is pointing a wand in your face. Says,
I think you got the wrong address, mon frere.
I think I must. Hold on a second, please. I kind of like push him back and close the door again, and I experimentally hit one of the other knockers.
The door creaks open.
I didn't really like what you just did there. I don't want to be ignored.
Okay, sorry. I was just checking to see that there was nothing unusual about this. listen, we're in a time loop. I'm afraid I don't have time to really get into the nitty-gritty of it, but we're all stuck in a time loop right now. Yourself included.
What? Really?
Yeah. I was hoping you could tell me more, but it seems like you're too busy intent on, hey, come to think of it, what is this whole disagreement about anyway?
Someone hasn't paid their due.
So do you all live on this floor of the tower?
Well, no, there's the three of us, me, For Real, and a gun, the Wanderer. We're all on bunk beds on the first floor. Why am I telling you this?
Well,
Get on out of here, scoot.
But does he shut the door on me?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Slams it.
I go home. Adventure over. No. I reopen the door and just force my way in, and
Yeah.
This time I just ignore all of them and head up to the second floor.
Yeah. You like the Barnabas, the grizzled wizard, is kind of like sputtering. He's super angry and doesn't know how to deal with being ignored.
Yeah.
For Real, and a gun is just kind of making her way around, trying to ease the situation. But you fully circumnavigate the first floor, go up the stairs. You're back in this laboratory. This time, you see as all of the scientists are doing tap dancing along the proscenium, doing a high school version of Mary Poppins.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly not bad. Honestly, Bert needs a little work, but
it's completely silent, though, right?
It's completely silent. Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the scientists is a director, holding his script and like tracing their finger along highlighted lines, and sees you and like frustrated gesture, like, get on stage.
Okay. I don't want to say Atticus is a bad performer, but I don't think he's an especially good performer.
Mm-hmm.
Is the one kind of stationary scientist still there?
Yep.
Okay. So what was the deal with her again? It was like she got out of the airlock that the Scientist Prime is currently in?
The Scientist Prime fractured parts of her memory and her understanding of the world to each one of the clones.
Got it.
And the one that remembers how to get out of the chamber is in the corner. They already escaped the invisible box they were pantomiming out of, so they're just standing there with nothing to do.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. But who you playing in Mary Poppins?
Is there like a visible missing role on stage?
Yeah, one of the children.
One of the children. Yep.
But
Atticus gets on his knees and pantomimes being a child. Does everyone have books in hand, or is like everyone already off script?
Everyone's already off script.
Oh,
they're kind of like giving you side eye. They're shoving with love. They're making sure that you like get 40% of the choreography, but the play continues without a hitch.
Okay, great. Atticus is desperately seeing it through, but he does take the opportunity to like, if there's any like break during rehearsal, like a water break, he does take the opportunity to go up to the quiet scientists and like gesture at them again, door turn ? Button?
Yeah.
Like I kind of like redo the set of steps that they did last time. Like, is this right? Like doorknob, press button, this thing too?
Yeah. Oh no, like there's a little bit of confusion on the choreography during Jolly Holiday, so they go for a nice little break. And you're talking to the scientist in the corner?
Yes, and not talking if I can help it. I'm trying to be silent and do things with it, as many gestures as possible.
Okay. Yeah, and they just do the same grabbing, twisting, kind of shrug back to comatose. routine that they did before.
Okay. I go over to the spot where the thing was,
Mhm.
and then I repeat the gesture.
Great. You to the door?
No, well, it was just like a place on the wall, right?
Yeah.
it
looks like seamless wood on the wall
Yeah.
that retracted and made the pneumatic tube.
Okay, I go to the same place and repeat the same actions.
Okay. You slide your hand, a button appears. Do you press it?
I press it.
The pneumatic tube swings out and starts sucking up all of the members of the ensemble and shooting them off into the stairway. And eventually it gets around to you. You join them. Now it's just a cluster of, actors doing stretches and filming TikToks and
What, in the tube?
like someone's there and trying to peddle vocal zone to all of the other. I'm just airing my grievances about it.
All completely silently.
Yeah, all completely silently. But you're in the stairway, and it doesn't look like there's anywhere to go but up.
I shuffle past everyone like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, and then I make my way up the stairs.
And you continue up the stairs, spiraling, going off into the next landing. You find yourself inside of a giant library, floor-to-ceiling bookcases, and there's one very active person who is sliding on a moving ladder, and they notice you, but just kind of continue like pulling books out of the bookshelf, leafing through, putting it back, and like shoving to move the ladder back, all the while muttering under their breath.
Can I just examine them? Just their appearance or any details about them?
Oh yeah, long hair, pair of glasses, kind of almost a kimono type sort of thing that they're wearing, made of kind of like a woolen thing. Oh god, I don't have a picture for this one. Hold on.
That's okay.
Hold. I pulled
Holding.
the picture.
Holding for picture.
You know what? This will do. We'll do this one. There you go.
Hey!
The person looks over to you, and they say, I'm quite busy. Is there anything I can help you with?
Is it me?
It's you.
Oh, fuck. Why am I there?
It's not you,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's a concept of you.
Okay. This charming, handsome person reading
Exact-
books in the
Absolutely
library.
dashing.
Yeah. Atticus sighs a breath of relief that this library makes much more sense to him than any of the other fucking shit that's been happening. He says, I do say, can you tell me, first of all, my name is Atticus Pennyweight, Premier Arcane Investigator. Can you tell me what's going on with Wizard's Tower?
Just a normal day. I don't understand. Is there something wrong happening here?
Why, yes, there's been a never-ending train of cacophony on the floors below.
Yeah.
Is
Pretty
this...
standard. Okay, now if you have anything, I really have to get back to my work.
Are you aware that we're stuck in a time loop?
Time loop, schmime loop. I got work to do, okay?
What work do you have to do? Hold on,
must
one
not
more
be
question.
looking for me.
One more question. What work are you doing?
Oh, me?
Yes,
And
you.
They turn around. He turns around on the ladder and kind of like puts an arm through one of the rungs and like casually sits back. My line of work? Classification.
Of what?
Magic.
Atticus feels a sense of kinship with this person.
Oh,
that-
but you're not a wizard, are you?
No. Just a regular arcane investigator.
This person just kind of like schlumps down a little bit and says, all right, okay. Well, perhaps your rustic understanding of magic might elucidate me in a kind of sidelong way in my theories and hypotheses.
Is this person like clearly a wizard, like hat and all?
Hat and all, definitely.
Okay. Well, sir, I can do my best. Just a humble spell understander, magic user myself.
Well, I would like to pose to you a question. The wizard slides down the ladder, gets to the floor, and walks over to a little sitting table where a teacup is sitting there. And he says, I would like to pose to you a question.
Yes?
What magic is this? And he points his wand at the teacup, casting a small spell, and the teacup starts moving in very jerky movements, as if it's being pulled by an invisible string. It pops off of the table, goes over and like rattles along the floor, small nudging movements. It gets to a water basin. It kind of like falls in and lurches back out, comes back to the table, and while spilling all over the place, comes back and sits on the table for the wizard.
Well, you've made this a little too meta for me. I can't give an impartial answer to myself. Making this real. You're really putting me on the spot here. I guess.
Now, what school of magic is this?
Atticus is aware that this is like a time-honored, maybe not even honored, just a classic point of contention among wizards. Like there's the trick answer is, I mean, like the answer is there's no right answer. Everyone kind of has their own truth of the matter. So he kind of actually starts to sweat a little, because at first he's like, oh, yes, a classic question. Then he's like, wait, is this guy testing me? Like, oh fuck, like what does he want me to say? Like, I don't know. Like, and he says, of course, the classic conundrum, the animation hypothesis, as Monroe posited it.
Ah, you're familiar. This will go far, I believe.
Yes, of course. On one hand, you could consider this a form of transmutation, as you've put the cup into a state where it can move. It has been transmuted into this state. Or you could simply say that you've given the teacup a will to move, therefore making an enchantment. Or perhaps you could identify the silica within the cup as having once been of animalistic origin, thus revitalizing and making a necromancy.
I would posit a different situation. It would seem this spell in particular is an outside force tugging it little at a time. This spell in particular was discovered while experimenting with automation. The spell could only achieve minor tasks due to the imprecise nature of its movements. The sorcerer that created it then went on to found a very trendy barbershop.
Oh, is Atticus aware of this? What what barbershop is this?
Yeah. Oh, you've never been? Obviously. My hair was taken there. My hair was trimmed at that spot, and you see that there's like noticeable patches missing.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this spell Assassin's Dagger?
Oh, no, but that's an awesome spell.
That's an awesome spell. I'm going to, a quick sideline to read Assassin's Dagger, which is one of my favorite spells in Troika. If I could find the spell list. It's here, right?
Sure.
Yes. Assassin's Dagger, evocatively named but actually quite mundane. The wizard whispers to an object, and that object then seeks out and vigorously and repeatedly bumps into the desired target. Obviously, if you whisper to a poisoned dagger, the result is one thing, while doing it to a letter is another. Travels any distance and always arrives eventually. Which I love that. That's an awesome, like, real world application for magic that is just named after the fact that, like, yeah, if you do it to a sword, it'll probably kill a guy eventually.
Yep. general statement, please read Troika. It's very good.
It's very, very, very good. Interesting. So he posits that this is some kind of like conjuration to like because it was discovered while working on like machinery.
I would say it's maybe a minor form of evocation. It seems like there are spurts of force magic being enacted upon the teacup.
So the force is simply moving as it will, just as gravity moves stuff down towards the planet.
Exactly.
An interesting
I might be able to make
hypothesis.
some headway. I might be able to make some headway in my research thanks to you. But what about this? He casts a different.
He pulls out a gun and
spell.
shoots me.
That's the second floor.
Yeah.
You see as he casts a spell on the teacup, and the teacup kind of like shakes a little bit and then settles, and the teacup says, "I am a teacup. I am generally used for drinking liquids out of. I contain either water or tea or whatever things you might want to drink out of me. I have a handle, and I sit here. Also, it is me, the teacup, talking, and not the wizard over there."
Is it the wizard talking?
The wizard says, "I don't know why it said that last part." The teacup chimes in again. "I can be made out of ceramic, or stone, or wood. I have many uses, not just drinking. Also, it's definitely me, the teacup, talking, and not the wizard."
Atticus has been around the block. Would he recognize a ventriloquism spell when he saw one?
I think you, you can roll magic on it.
Sure. I don't really have a magic for that.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I'll say
I
like
think
plus
you-
2 because that's like wizard knowledge, arcane knowledge.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll roll under a 10.
Roll under a 9 or 10. Yeah.
Successful either way. I've rolled a 6.
Awesome. Yeah. You kind of faintly remember a story like this, where a magician was a curator at a museum and wanted to cut costs, so he had all of the artifacts be able to tell general facts about themselves.
Oh, okay. So it
but
really
they kinda-
is like a Wikipedia spell.
Yeah, the wizard then got in trouble because people were suspicious of the magic, because the magic could only imitate the voice of the caster. So legally, he had to alter the spell so that it reinforced very poorly that it was the object talking.
no one's been able to reverse engineer it since. It's stuck with that caveat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. I'm like, yes. I do forget the name, but this was the one invented by that museum curator, was it?
Oh, yes. Oh, I remember that in my notes somewhere. He gets back on the ladder and shoves off to a different part and says, yes. No, that is correct. That is the source of the spell.
Well, again, this could be enchantment because you've provided a will for the teacup to say what it wishes to say. You could say that you have conjured the information that it presents to you.
What do you think about divination? It is giving information.
Or perhaps
about
divination
the
as well.
past. Mhm.
But it seems to be relegating general knowledge as well. Namely, sort of general information as conferred by another intelligence, not strictly fact. If it were purely divination, it would probably be giving a long and storied history about the invention of the teacup and every use of a teacup since then.
An interesting point. I shall consider it. One more spell. Let me get your ear on this one. The wizard casts a spell on the teacup, and it suddenly becomes very still. The teacup is now covered in what looks like feathers, and it has a pattern of eyes around the outside in a faint ceramic blue. And as it sits there, very cautiously, it reveals itself to be a bird with radial symmetry that slowly flaps its wing downward and pulls it back up as it preens itself.
Interesting. Is it radial symmetry like on a vertical axis? Like it has multiple heads and beaks and...
It's got a whole bunch of wings that kind of curve upward to form the shape of a cup.
Oh, I see. Is the head like inside the cup? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's a real thinker. My heart wants to say transmutation because you turned it into a bird, but perhaps you revealed it as having been a bird the entire time?
Transmutation. That's certainly a way to look at it.
Alternatively, you could have possibly my actual brain shutting down, not Atticus's brain.
It's a real thinker.
It is a real thinker.
The wizard slides a book out from the bookshelf and says, this is a spell from the tome titled Magics of Assassination, intended for assassinating one's character.
One's character?
Yes. Well, there's a newspaper clipping in here with an article titled Weirdo Crushes Bird with Bare Hand, Universally Shunned. I suppose if you gave this to a dignitary in a fit of passion, they might crush it in a single blow.
A bird whose expressed intention is to be crushed?
Now, that's not something in nature, I wouldn't think.
No.
So transmutation is out.
Well...
Transmutation creates nothing new.
Oh, that's true. It's grabbing something from the realm of concept and idiom and conjuring it to life, perhaps?
That might be a start. Well, you've given me plenty to think about. I think our conversation has been very productive.
I didn't get your name, by the way.
Oh, my name?
Yeah, your name.
Oh, Orange.
Yeah? Surname? Is that your surname or your first name?
No, that's first name. Orange Julius.
Well, Mr. Julius.
Orange Julius.
This has been a very insightful conversation.
Yes.
Are you aware of what any sort of happenings on the upper floors, or have you been occupied with your work?
Very occupied with my work. Thank you for asking. This world of classification takes a lot of considering.
I see. Would you be able to point me at the way up?
Of course. He slides over to the far end of the bookshelf, climbs to the top of the ladder, pulls a little ring at the side of the wall, and a ladder slides down right next to you.
All right. Atticus very cautiously places a foot on the ladder, then the hand, then starts slowly climbing up as if anything he does is going to send him back to the front door.
As you're climbing the ladder, Orange Julius looks at you and says, "Oh, and Atticus?
Yes?
You are outside of the tower looking at the door. You have been shunted to the back."
God sarn it!
Mm-hmm.
Is the closest Atticus will get to swear.
3 stamina.
Yay, I'm at full health.
Yeah.
Can I go above full?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's back up to full then. Can I retrace my steps back up to Orange's library?
You can describe it to me.
Okay, Atticus takes a deep sigh, opens the front door, acknowledges the wizards, but does not even stop or hesitate to acknowledge them at all. Opens the hatch, climbs up. What are they doing on the second floor?
They are filming a spaghetti western movie.
They are filming a spaghetti western movie. He walks clear through the line of fire of the two cowboys, who seem to regard him with some animosity that he's breaking up their scene. The director is probably furious, like cut, like he's wordlessly shouting cut, like some moron has walked through the set,
putting away the clapper and pulling out a gun.
Yeah, pulling out a gun, but by the time he has the gun out, I've already pressed the button in the correct sequence and pulled out the tube to send me into the stairwell.
Uh-huh.
And then
you slide up through the stairwell, up the stairs, you get to the library, and Orange looks at you and says, "Oh, Atticus, you're back. I thought you left."
What? Hold on. Are you aware of the time loop?
Time loop?
Oh, rats.
I'm just here with my studies.
Hang on, maybe you can help me with this. I sit down at the table, like, with him. like, all right, maybe you can help me with this. So, I've been trying to climb this tower. Every so often, I get shunted back to the opening. And there's a conflict. There's a bunch of wizards fighting on the first floor that seem to have been also shunted back to the start of their debacle. But you on the second floor seem to be moving forward, or at least further involved with the time aberration than I once gave it credit for.
Oh. Wait. Time loop, you say?
Time loop, yes. Something resembling a time loop.
Orange, like, pulls out a little notebook that has, like, leaflets coming out of it, and, looks to the most recent page and says, "So that's where my notes are going."
Where they're going?
Perhaps they never were there to begin with. Very curious.
I kind of like, what is curious?
I don't know anything about chronomancy. I am so sorry. I wish I could help you.
That's more than acceptable.
Yes.
What
but
were
I
you
would
saying
encourage you-
about your notes?
I haven't been able to take any notes for the longest time.
Oh. So, awareness can pass through time loops then, under proper circumstances. Something about your circumstances causing your memories to bleed over into the next loop, the same as mine.
Well, that's how it should work, if you ask me.
I mean, ideally, but the wizards on the first floor seem like they have no awareness of it.
Huh. Atticus,
Yes. Orange?
would you please... Thank you. Would you please continue up the tower and find out what's happening here?
I intend to. That has been my goal all along.
I shall fetch the ladder, and I will bid you adieu.
All right. Au revoir. Knowingly saying that I'll probably see him again.
Is that French? All right. He goes up the ladder, pulls the ring. This gilded ladder comes from the ceiling, and you are free to continue.
I continue.
Up the ladder, and it is almost immediate. Like, you poke through the floor, and you find that you are in a giant room filled with tchotchkes of every variety. This is going to be a little difficult. Hold on.
Okay.
Welcome to the menagerie.
Oh shit. I'm in Pawn Stars. Is Chum
as you
Lee
get
there?
up here, Chum Lee from
Is she doing,
Street Fighter?
is she doing her spinning bird kick up here?
Chun-Li is there. There's a little action figure of Chun-Li.
Oh shit.
But this room, there are piles of tchotchkes all over the place. You might think like these piles of tchotchkes were once like little display cases and pedestals, but they have been mold over with various little trinkets and doodads and thingamabobs.
Just stuffed
And-
full until you can't make out what was supposed to be there in the first place.
Yeah. Over the top of it is a giant, at least 45-foot chandelier that casts this ghostly pale blue glow over everything. And off in the corner, one of the tchotchkes starts vibrating.
What is the tchotchke? Tchotchke.
It's a little model rocking horse.
Okay. I don't think I have any useful spells for anything happening here. I guess maybe not immediately sensing a threat, I go over and examine it.
Okay. You grab the tchotchke, this little rocking horse, and you are transported in a vision. You find yourself standing in front of the opening gates of Disneyland. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Okay.
I was trying to come up with a very complex puzzle for this room. What we're gonna do instead is we're gonna play hot and cold, and use the Disneyland scale to get to where we're going.
Okay. For those at home, we have adopted something we refer to as the Disneyland scale, because a common problem with 5e and any other sort of tabletop derivative is the desire to metagame in situations where like you're all in a group, like in a combat, and the healer's like, how's everyone should I stop what I'm doing right now to heal someone? And you kind of have to like dodge saying like, how are you doing right now? Like, oh, I could use 35 points of healing right now. That's not fun. It's hard to keep everything serious if you're going meta like that. So in an effort to curb us doing that, with our group, we've adopted the Disneyland metric, which is on a scale of I've just parked at Disneyland and I'm ready to have a good time to I'm done at Disneyland, I'm getting in my car, I'm going home, where are you right now? So we try to think of like creative solutions that I'm sure we'll get into as this puzzle progresses. So where am I in Disneyland?
You're standing at the front gate. You have no information. You think you're gonna have a good day, but things can go wrong.
As I am, as any good wizard is aware, this vision of the Disneyland metric is a surefire sign that I am in the wrong area. So I put down the rocking horse. I head to the opposite corner. Is this like a definite chamber? Like I can get to the ends of it?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's like a little difficult terrain because you're not trying to, break anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to step over.
But yeah, and the hot and cold is going to be basically you're asking 20 questions. You're trying to find the right item in
Yes.
this giant pile of things.
Oh, so I wonder if the metric is like a scale of like not just position, but like what I'm actually looking for.
Exactly.
Atticus is worried about this, so he does both at the same time. He goes to the farthest, like as far away from the rocking horse as he can manage, and he tries to identify something that is the opposite of a rocking horse, or at least very far away from being a rocking horse.
What's the opposite of a rocking horse?
Like
I think like
a plant, like a no, that's also made of wood.
sure, like a little plastic succulent.
Sure, like a fake plant.
Uh-huh.
I tried. I look and I find a teeny plastic succulent and I touch it.
Yeah, you touch it, you are whisked away. You are walking around the world of tomorrow, and you're considering going. You're like, is Captain EO still there? And that's all you get.
This is less than an hour into the park. This is also the wrong direction. Okay. I go somewhere near the middle and see if anything sticks out to me.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a 3d6 roll.
3d6 roll. You got it. Additive?
Yeah.
That's a 1, a 2, and a 5, so 8.
8. Okay. You find a collection of lawn gnomes that have just piled together.
Okay. Are they all like the same pose, or are they doing different irreverent poses?
They're all doing K-pop idol poses.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I pick the sauciest one up and see what vision awaits me.
I'm so sorry. I just flash back to our times we've gone to the mall. It went to those like Funko Pop stores that have all the like girls in bunny costumes.
Oh, like
Models.
the anime
Just
figures? Yeah.
imagine those. Yeah, those guys know.
It's just a line of anime figures. Wait a minute. Are you saying like people use anime figures like lawn gnomes in our world?
Yes.
Oh, that's a horrifying thought.
Yeah.
All right. I pick
you
up a gnome that looks suspiciously like Hatsune Miku and hold it to see if any vision comes to me.
Yeah. You're whisked away. You see a line for Goofy, and you think, well, how accurate are the signatures really? And you pull back.
Getting closer. Almost there. I go looking for anything really large. Like, I kind of step over, look through the aisle, see if there's anything, like, unusually large that I can get my hands on.
You're stepping through, like, fields of playing cards and marbles. There's a whole, like, almost a tiling of refrigerator magnets on the ground.
Just very small things.
You get to a forest of replica buildings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Famed. I want to. Now I'm like trying to invent a building. I want to look for a model of the fucked Tower of Pisa where they built the whole thing upside down.
That's game.
One of the greatest architectural blunders of recent memory.
You find a little Tower of Pisa that's completely straight. It's just upended, and there's a little pair of legs wiggling out of the bottom.
It fell over.
Yeah, and you grab it, and suddenly you feel the smell waft over you of a big, beautiful turkey leg. And you take a big bite into it, and those stringy bits get stuck in your teeth, but you're like, I'm in heaven, I don't care.
So that's earlier. It's colder. I go back to the middle. I use second sight to see if anything unusually magical sticks out to me.
Okay, go ahead and roll for it.
Okay, that'll be a 11 that I have to roll under. 3 and a 4. That's
Easy.
a 7. 7.
Nice. Okay. Take your stamina loss, and then.
Oh, that's just
You
no.
see
Second
that-
sight's just like a thing I do. That's a skill.
Oh. Never mind.
Yeah.
You see that there's like traces of magic, and I don't know if there's like a recency bias on the glow of the magic, but you could kind of like ascertain that there's a collection of tchotchkes that are glowing a little bit fiercer than the rest of them.
As if they were more recent. Okay. I go over and see what the tchotchkes actually are.
You find Christmas ornaments.
Christmas ornaments. I see. I take out a luxurious red and white striped bauble. By the way, Christmas apparently does exist in Endeavor World.
Yep.
I take out.
I guess so. Sorry.
I guess I take out a luxurious red and white striped bauble and see what awaits me.
Yeah. You are standing watching the fireworks, and your friend just threw up a little bit, and you think maybe it's time to go.
Okay, I'm getting it. I'm nearly there. All right. I look through the Christmas ornaments to see if anything else sticks out to me. Is there a fancy Santa?
There's definitely a fancy Santa.
Okay. I grab a fancy.
There's a Santa. Yeah. There's yeah. You grab your fancy Santa, and you see yourself walking through Main Street, and it's dark.
Okay, I'm heading back to my car. This is it. Okay, I use... Okay, I kind of want to use my spell Find, but Find is more like I know what the something is and I'm trying to look for it, so I don't think that would fly here.
Well, I think you would recognize a bit of a tendency that's going on.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. No, you don't.
Okay. Thank you.
Christmas ornaments, fancy Santa. What's in that sort of realm?
Celebratory ornament. Festive. Something holiday related. I look for any other holiday related tchotchkes.
Yeah.
Do I find anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You find a collection of snow globes.
Oh, okay. I assume that they're snow globes of like either general locales or maybe famous buildings or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's
one of Santa's workshop that leaps out to you.
Okay, I grabbed the one of Santa's workshop.
You are riding the tram, not quite back at your car.
Okay, Santa's.
You got the happy headache going on.
I use all of my investigative prowess to find as many Santas as possible.
Okay. Yes. You find out of the fancy Santas, they're not quite the right thing.
Yeah.
But you notice something glints out of your eye. It's a nutcracker.
A nutcracker. I touch the nutcracker with some hesitation.
Atticus Pennyweight.
Is that it talking with its mouth? Like, does it open?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm like, how do you know my name?
What good wizard doesn't know the name of the thorn in its side?
Does Atticus Pennyweight have any like known enemies? Do I have an arch foe? Or is the idea of someone disliking me like a what? Who would dislike me?
I think you get under wizard skin, but I don't know if your reputation precedes you.
Yeah, so I guess the idea of someone knowing who I am is like, how do you know who I am?
I have seen many timelines in this fractured reality I have been stuck to.
You've been stuck to it?
I'm not great with words, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's fine, you are a nutcracker.
Something terrible has happened here, and I fear that my greatest enemy shall be my only ally in this time.
Why? Am I your greatest enemy?
Yes.
What? Why? What did I ever do to you? I don't even know who you are. You're just a nutcracker.
It is not for you to know.
Oh, beans. I'm just sounding like Tarm now. I have to avoid Tarm's voice. Like, damn.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I know.
They don't know Tarm.
I know they don't know Tarm. Oh, well, beans. I'm afraid I'm afraid you're going to have to elucidate a little bit on why we're such mortal foes.
It is not for you to know.
Yeah, all right, fine. Okay, then how do we get out of here?
I have been fractured among all of these tchotchkes. Every time the time loop resets, a part of myself is shunted between item to item.
Much like the scientist downstairs.
When we go back in time, we do not return to the reality we once were in, but create a new reality, strange and twisted as it was.
Then what's been provoking the changes? Has it been something I'm doing?
Would it were that simple, Atticus.
Alright, you don't have to say my name with such venom, sir. I barely even know who you are. Do you have a name?
My name
Yep, your name?
My name is. That is not for you to know.
All right, fine. Okay, so how many essences have you been split into at this point?
Thousands.
All right, well, how am I supposed to reunite all of that if I don't even know what I'm looking for?
You must stop the anomaly. Do what you can.
Is the anomaly up?
Proceed to the final floor, Atticus.
All right.
And perhaps our longtime friendship shall resume.
Oh. All right.
It doesn't have to be this way, Atticus. Look in my eyes. And you see the nutcracker in your hands.
Was I always holding it?
Yeah.
Okay. I gaze deeply into his eyes.
There's something here. I can feel it.
Between us or in this room?
I was assuming between us.
Oh. I mean, yeah, that's why I thought
it
you were
felt
my...
like for a long time, but your hands are so soft.
I thought we were mortal enemies.
I mean, things change.
Do you want to come with me?
I don't know.
All right, fine. I put you down and I look for the staircase up.
Atticus, no. And, yeah, you see that, like, hidden in the rubble of 1,000 tchotchkes, there is a doorway that has been blocked that leads to a ramp upward.
Okay. I open the door and I head upward.
Okay. It's a short climb. You find yourself in a dark room where a young wizard is kind of toying with little figurines. It's a wizard with blue skin, round yellow eyes. And
A Navi! Sivako!
And the wizard like looks up at you at the start, and she says, "I'm sorry. Who are you?"
Atticus Pennyweight, Premier Arcane Investigator. What are you doing, if I may ask?
Oh, I'm working on something. Okay, I think I've cracked it.
Could I look at the figurines to see what they are?
Yeah. You see little figurines of Dustin, the god of the sun,
Okay.
who is doing a little finger guns pose.
His famed pose. Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. And you see that? And she says, "Yeah, these things, they're real good. But to be honest, I haven't paid rent in a little while. I need to come up with something great if I'm going to continue living here."
What is it you're making?
Oh, okay, so this is a spell where if this little figurine breaks, then time is reversed so that it is going back to where it wasn't broken.
Oh, are there 3 broken figurines near them?
There are, like, you look around and you see that off to the corner, there's just, like, a whole bunch of figurines that are, like, smushed against the wall, or, like, shattered against the wall and, like, crumbling on the floor. She says, "Now check this out. This is gonna be great."
Wait.
Figurines and hurls it against the wall.
Wait, don't-
It cracks, shatters, and nothing happens.
Oh. Okay.
I thought it would work that time.
Well, I think, if you'll forgive me, I think you've been actually causing a chronomantic disturbance along this entire tower with your actions.
Have?
Yeah, I've been trying to climb this tower and I keep getting shunted back to the opening. I think that might be your fault.
Oh,
In other words, your spell is working correctly. You just you've simply specified the wrong target.
well, okay. walk me through this, because I've been standing here working on this thing, and I feel like I'm close to cracking it, but I just really haven't gotten that final verbiage to get it right. You see, I have this theory, okay?
Okay.
Time isn't relative, it's subjective.
Okay. As
Yeah.
in, so I guess you're taking like a solipsistic angle with it? Like time only exists as something that you perceive individually?
Yeah, well, think about it, right? You have a bad day, it feels like that day took forever. If you have a really good day or a really middling day, the day could be gone in an instant, right?
Right.
So, if we harness that ability to retroactively affect time, let's say we can't change time in the future using that power.
Well, I suppose in theory that would make some sense.
Well, I want it to work that way. She grabs another figurine and throws it against the wall. It shatters and crumbles to dust. Damn!
I'm not a religious person, but can I look and just gut check and see if any of these other figurines are also gods?
Oh, they're all of Dustin.
Oh, they're all of Dustin, like mass-produced Dustin figurines. Where did you get all these figurines of Dustin?
Oh, I make them.
Oh.
And I'd
lovely.
love to give people a lifetime guarantee, but oof, they're made out of plaster. They crack real easy.
Oh. Well, you've done a superb job on his likeness.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm not a wizard, nor am I a chronomancy expert. Chronomancy is extremely illegal, by the way. I hope you understand that.
It is?
Yeah. Like, really, really illegal. Like, I should arrest you right now, kind of illegal.
Do you have that power?
That's a great question. I think this is such an outlandish situation that I think, like, usually if there was a need for arrest, he would just, like, send Percival to the proper authorities. Right now he's kind of like, can I do that? Like, he's like, well, not exactly, but I just, you ought to know that's not strictly legal. I mean, you're messing around with the timeline of this entire building, not just your figurines that you're smashing here.
Well, I really want it to, because obviously that if I were to make something that could control time in a very, a very small manner, then God, I'd be set for life, right?
I just kind of want to like
to work that way.
I want to do like a general examination of this person in this kind of circumstance. Like you said, they were like a blue person with yellow eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a species I'm familiar with?
That's just, yeah, sure.
Okay. Not what I was looking for.
It's a common-ish ancestry around this part of town.
Okay. That's not unusual. It's not like
No.
This person's secretly an alien. I do think that their maybe not entitledness, but their proclivity and wanton disregard for the fact that they're using chronomancy is kind of interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, well, how about you give it a break, give it a take a breather, take a 5 just to let it recharge, and why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
She stands up, she kind of like, you know what, I could use a break. Kind of rolls out her shoulders, walks over to the window and undoes the big heavy wooden shutters, and light pours in. She says, yeah, well, I went to art school, kind of, started doing that life. It was fine. It was good. I learned a lot, but, I kind of have to get back into the rest of the world.
Right.
But magic is interesting, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like chronomancy, legality aside, is a very interesting business.
Well, sure. How, tell me about your your magical acuity. Have you always been a spellcaster? Did you learn spellcasting at some point?
Not in the slightest. This is gonna be my first spell. It's gonna be great.
Okay. I guess gut check is. Am I dealing with a sorcerer here?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so sorcerers are like impossibly rare. They are the thing of legend because like if a sorcerer exists, they either like kill themselves by accident or become one of the strongest people alive. So he's kind of like, one, he feels like he has control of the situation, but two, he also feels like he just stepped on a landmine and he's trying to figure out how to take his foot off without like totally blowing everything to shit.
Yeah.
He's like, interesting. How about you, what about your parents? You said you went to art school, correct? They, help you with your tutelage?
Yeah, they're doing good.
Okay. What's your name,
my
by
dad's
the way?
Banker. Oh, my name?
Yep, your name.
Yep, Finch.
All right, Finch.
Forgot to prep names for this adventure. It's the last thing I was gonna do, but then I was up. It's Finch.
Well, Finch, I mean, I say that's a, first name, yep, last name Finch, you're right. Listen, Finch.
My friends call me Finch. My actual name's Yup.
Finch, you have a good spark, a good start for magic. I mean, chronomancy is very, legality aside, chronomancy is very difficult. It's a very, as you said, a very potentially strong magic. Although I think, sort of wanton experimentation won't, be particularly fruitful, I'm afraid. I mean, I'm not a renowned spellcaster or anything, but I've learned a spell or two, and it takes temperance. It takes doing things very carefully with a lot of study. Have you met?
What if I really wanted to work this way? And she grabs a figurine and hurtles it into the air, and it smacks against the ceiling and turns to dust. Damn. Huh.
Well, I mean, Atticus kind of, he doesn't let it on particularly well, but he is kind of shuddering at the thought of even saying this, but he's like, well, reality is, I mean, being a spellcaster, reality is what you make of it, right? Like, if you really, really want it, you have to really sit down and be able to visualize it with total clarity. Have you, considered meditation, maybe?
Meditation? Oh, so like the thought of how it should work isn't purely conscious, that it's more of a settled decision you've made, and that's how the world and time works.
Right, yes, precisely. He says, like, he is now sweating bullets at, like, like, fuck, I am not encouraging a sorcerer to get, like, oh god, like, what am I doing?
Well, I think you're onto something. And she kind of, like, considers the figure in her hand. And she says, I think causing a time loop imbued in this figurine, wouldn't that be cool? She dashes it against the ground, nothing happens. Damn.
Like, every time she smashes anything, he, like, winces, and he's like, I really think you need to, I don't know, take a moment, like, really need to sit a while and think about it before you try again, right? Like, if you just keep throwing yourself at the problem, you're never gonna get anywhere, right?
Yeah, she takes a figure, she puts it on the windowsill. She says, maybe I'm just putting too much energy into it.
Yeah, well,
and I want it to work this way, but maybe it's just thinking that's how it should work. She leans back, she nudges this figurine off of the windowsill, tumbles down the side of the tower, and you find yourself at the front door again.
I kind of walk around the side and see if there's a smashed figurine on the ground.
Nope.
All right. I yell up the tower. Finch!
Yeah.
I think you got it that time.
Who are you?
Can you make a very long ladder going up to your window? I know you got it in you.
The ladder slowly descends, little by little, made of crumbling figurines.
Oh, man. Ow,
and
pokey.
I believe that's where we're going to end the story for today.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is this a multi-parter? Do you see this continuing?
Nah, this was just a little one-off.
Okay.
A little case file for you to look at.
And some say Atticus is still working this case to that day. He's never been able to solve the issue of the sorcerer in the tower.
Yeah.
Well, that was wonderful.
Yeah, you solved my tower puzzle.
I did it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thank you for having me write this. I had a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Jamming some ideas.
It was a good time. I'm glad you did it. Hopefully I would like I have an idea for one that I want to run next time. It won't be anytime soon because I've got some work up ahead and I need to find some free time to actually make the darn thing. But I have another one that I would like to run. But yeah, maybe we could keep alternating.
Hell yes.
Okay. But either way, this was a ton of fun. I hope you all in the audience enjoyed it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks everyone for hanging out, for sticking around.
Yeah, thank
Randy,
you.
if you're still here, awesome. Thanks for coming by.
Oh, nice.
And if ever you want me to come back, I will come back. I'll play some games with you.
Of course. You're always welcome if we ever find something to play together.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that was good. I'm so I love the idea of just how did the sorcerer end up in this tower?
So, the mechanics behind this is that the idea that time is subjective is true, right?
Yes.
And every person on the floor in their little environment has an idea, a different idea of how time loops should function. For the sake of simplicity, you retain all of your ideas, but you are shunted back to where you start. Right. The evocation wizards at the bottom of the tower have never considered chronomancy, so they are oblivious to the changes.
Right.
The scientists recognize that randomness within nature creates normalcy, so that even within a perfectly stable time loop, the random ideas of human being cause different actions to occur. Up in the library, knowledge persists, state does not, which kind of flew by Orange's head because all of the notes that he put down had disappeared, but he was so, obsessed with his classification that it just consumed his thoughts.
Yeah.
What was his name? It is not for you to know.
Yeah.
Get shunted to a parallel dimension every time the time loop started over. So
what was he originally?
Huh?
What was he originally, I wonder? Was he another poor wizard?
That's not for you to know.
I guess it isn't.
And then our friend, Finch, was the progenitor of the theory, but does not, I guess, if her opinion that this thing should be reverted to an unbroken state, then I think she falls under the same category as the first floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Fun little imagination trip to go on last week.
I loved it.
Yeah. All right.
And
Well,
as with anything we talk about, this is canon.
Yeah, this is true. This is all real and true.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for pulling yourself away from Warframe long enough to play this with me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm happy to.
Yeah. And now this is done. Are we gonna read a list of sandwiches or something?
No, we don't have to do that.
Okay.
That's fine. We can
All
just
right.
we can just talk a little bit if we want, or if you have to go, you can just go.
I think it's time for me to step out.
Okay. Well, I will let you go. Thank you, Paul, for joining me on this wonderful adventure of magic and fun. I have a thing I'll run next time. We will swap the titular wizard hat and DM robe accordingly
Fantastic.
for next time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. This wizard or this DM hood you gave me, very comfortable. I must
Good.
say.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I made it out of
nice
lines.
thick material. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great time. Use your imagination. Be good people.
You said it. All right. Au revoir.
Bye bye.
Talk to you tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. As for the rest of you, thank you all for coming to my show. I'm glad you liked it. I figured people would like it, but it is nice to see people say that they liked it, as usual. Someone did redeem a win, I have to acknowledge it.
Welcome to Victory Lane. You made it.
We did it! Anyway, thanks for coming, everyone. I feel like Holly was streaming? Sort by following. Why can I not just sort by following to begin with? Oh yeah, Holly's playing Mario Sunshine right now. I think I can just send you all over there. Yeah. Alright, well, once again, thanks for coming, everyone. How do I do this? Do I start raid? Yes, okay, starting raid. So, if you want to watch Holly play Mario Sunshine, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I will see you all next time. And remember...
Winners don't do drugs.
Hi. You're just here and you kept very quiet that whole time?